why don't we do this? Since we have three of these from the same gene pool over here with stories growing up, why don't we have you guys all sit together and talk about like growing up gaming, maybe some gaming memories, things like that.
The last one, people were like, "Oh, he looks like he's in a bad mood." I was just sleepy, just tired, man. I was outside for about 45 minutes, and that stupid sun just killed me.
45 minutes.
I was drained, dude. Like I had nothing left. Like I just wanted to take a nap. Does that amuse you?
No, that disgusts me.
What?
You're like Zoolander right now.
I've got the black lung pop.
You worked one day.
Talk to me in 20 years.
Me and Tim were out in 115 degree weather the other day, for real, where we were at, 115. Like real temperature. Not even the heat index or anything like that. Yeah. All day.
But he was out in it for 45 minutes.
Yeah, but you were out for 45 minutes. I didn't get home until like 8:30.
The sun and I do not get along. Okay, actually, the sun's kind of my enemy. Like
45 minutes.
Dude, once I realized
12 cents per.
You know what? Once I realized the sun is what was giving me freckles as a kid, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that anymore.
I don't think that's true.
It's true.
Nah, that's an old wives' tale.
It's true.
Nah, I don't buy it.
I promise you.
I don't buy it.
Okay, fine. You don't have to worry about it because you didn't look like alfalfa as a kid. Okay?
Yeah, you did.
He was in the bathroom doing the lemon juice.
It was no lemon juice doesn't work.
You got that from the Brady Bunch.
Yes, and it doesn't work because I tried it.
I tried it too.
Did you? So no, once I realized it was the sun, once I kind of limited my sun exposure, my freckles started fading. When I was like in middle school, I was like, okay, figured it out. It's like not doing that again. And if I have the choice, I don't.
Do you just go outside and just like curse the sun? Damn
Dude,
you, son.
I'll open the door and I'll be like, dude, it's bad, man.
It's true. Like as long as I've known him, he's blacked out his windows. He put blankets up in his windows.
I still do that, actually.
Dude, I got sunburned in Norway. Didn't expect that, dude. But I got sunburned, man. I was like, what in the world? Like that was kind of embarrassing. Because it was nice, right? Like it was
nice.
It wasn't like you broil here. Within 15 minutes, you're like, okay, I'm done. I tap out.
I got a question. So, for you guys, obviously you guys grew up together playing games. What was the maddest you have been at each other, video game related?
Well, we've mentioned this before. Is when this chump right here would go to rent a video game and he'd come back with like RBI baseball or football or some stupid. Like that was aggravating, dude, because he was being selfish. He was getting a game for himself and not for everybody else.
Oh, that's one way of looking at it. Or you didn't appreciate what I picked for everybody. That's another way to look at it.
It was like Homer getting the bowling ball for Marge.
Putting his name on it.
Putting his name on it. That's exactly what it was.
Were you renting these games at Jar?
No.
Well, this was in Corpus.
It was a place called Farmore. It was a pharmacy like an Eckerd's or Walgreens, I guess now. Eckerd's ain't even around anymore, is it? It's like a Walgreens type
Eckerd's
place.
isn't around?
I don't think so.
Like HEB, something like that.
We rented
They had
movies
toys.
from HEB. I don't remember renting video games.
No, we rented video games from Farmore.
Okay.
I remember that. PHARMORE is like a pharmacy, like Walgreens.
Dude, they used to rent video games. It's crazy to think about it, but yeah, grocery stores they used to rent video games. Remember, there used to be Kroger, and there was one they used to be. Man, was it a Sack and Save or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they used to have video games there, just at grocery stores and pharmacies. It was pretty crazy back then.
No, I remember
that.
we'd rent a lot of horror movies from HEB.
Yeah,
back in Corpus.
I think HEB rented movies as well. This was pre Blockbuster too.
Yeah,
when
no, we're
Blockbuster came around,
talking like
89?
mid '80s, mid to late '80s.
85.
Yeah.
Is when we were doing that.
I mean, the first location was up here in Dallas, but it took them a while to expand out. So I
Yeah.
don't think we got a Blockbuster down there till like 89, 88, 89.
But when we rented a game or we're allowed to, it's like it's not like we all got to pick. You know what I mean? Like I think
we had to rotate.
yeah, it was like
Sometime
we had to
all,
rotate.
you know.
So between picks.
You guys picked
For,
games
for
too?
games, I don't
games.
ever remember anybody having a choice to pick games other than you. Maybe it was just because it aggravated me, so that's all I remember. But I don't remember. I don't remember anybody else picking games.
I do remember picking a lot of the games, but it might have been one of those things where you just weren't there, so you didn't have the option. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jay was always like, "Moms, let's stop by Farmore on the way home."
I mean, keep in mind, I could convince Pops to do anything for me. So,
Yeah,
you know.
and that was our video game for the week.
So what's your most aggravating?
Well, I want to expand on that. Do you even remember? Like, do you have any recollection of one particular time where you rented a game?
Me? No. I don't remember. I don't remember. I truly don't remember anybody else renting a game except for him.
Look,
Dodongo, do you remember ever renting one particular game?
y'all can't sit here and tell me that I was the only one who
I rented
video
the
games.
movies. I took charge of renting movies
Yeah, you did.
when we were
You
kids.
picked some shit movies too back then.
Bunch of horror movies, stuff we hadn't watched. Yeah. And I mean, how are you supposed to know until you do it?
Well,
but
same
it's
with
like,
the video game. How you supposed to know
no,
unless you rented
come on.
it?
When you're buying a football game, you know what to expect because they're all the same. Especially on the Nintendo back in the
I
day.
mean, some were better than others, but
I honestly don't
it's
remember
football.
renting a game
Yeah.
because I always went for the buy. I was like, okay, I don't care about renting this game. I was like,
but that wasn't usually until birthdays and Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas though,
so I
like
didn't.
buying a game.
But yeah, I really don't remember having much of a choice. I remember both of y'all at one point in time decided together, and this was one of my most furious incidents.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's hear this.
River City Ransom.
Dude, that game's awesome, dude.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's overrated, but it was cool at the time.
So here's the thing.
Dude, that's one of my favorites right there.
We had a weekend rental, right? 3-day weekend or
He's still
3-day.
mad about this too.
I don't remember.
I know what
this.
he's gonna say, but he's still mad about
let's hear
it.
it.
I'm
Spit
not
it
still
out.
mad, but this is just that aggravated me the most as a kid. So we're supposed to take turns, right? They're like, all right. So the rule was after you died, y'all never died. Y'all spent the entire weekend playing River City Ransom and y'all beat it.
We were just awesome.
Never turned it off, or y'all
I
got
don't
the
remember that.
codes. And me and Tim were sitting there the whole time. When are we gonna get to play? When are we gonna get to play?
I don't remember beating it, but if you say we hogged it, I'm not going to disagree with you.
No, y'all
No,
beat
that
it.
That's something we
totally
would have
sounds-
done.
I
Yeah,
remember
agreed.
that. Y'all
Agreed.
beat
I
it.
don't remember that game specifically. Like,
Y'all
you're
got the
not
Texas
getting a
boots and
chance.
everything. Boom.
I don't ever remember beating it
I
either.
remember beating it. Fuck, I couldn't beat it now.
I can.
It's difficult. Do you have a copy? Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got what you wanted at the end of
I
the
don't
day,
have
right?
a copy.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't have one.
I don't know.
So
What's that
Dodongo, is
from?
it true
What's
they
that
always
from?
say that you hog the Super Nintendo? Is that?
Oh
is that
yeah, that's. I'm
Yes.
glad you're here for this because we've mentioned this like
Yeah.
50 times already, and he's never been here to
Yeah. Yeah.
deny or
Confirm or anything.
confirm what.
Well, here's the thing about the Super Nintendo is a lot of those games are 2-player. And y'all could have easily just jumped right in, especially Secret of Mana.
Nope.
Secret of Mana, all you had to do was hit the other and hit start on the other controller.
Because it
First
was
of all,
you and Bobby Hill that were constantly hogging the thing.
It was the two of you.
Super Nintendo came
Yes.
out when we were on Laurel, bro.
That don't mean you weren't hogging it.
We had
But
this.
Bobby Hill,
Cameron,
Cameron.
Yeah,
Our
actual Bobby Hill.
our youngest. So
I was thinking
To-
the other Bobby.
to let the
Comedy Circus.
to let the audience
Bobby.
no
Okay.
to let the audience in on this, our youngest brother, especially back in the day, looked just like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill.
Shaped like him and everything.
The same potato shape, the same stupid haircut, even dressed the same. It was insane, and it was not intentional. That was the thing. We were the ones who made the connection. I still don't think he realized it, even though we called him Bobby Hill.
Bobby Hill.
I don't think he realized it.
You know what's
That's
so
my
strange
purse.
about y'all's DNA is that like several of you look like
no.
clones of each other, and then there's like these outliers that look like they don't even belong.
Well, it's funny because like when we were younger, everyone thought Daryl and Tim were twins. They get asked all the time, "Are they twins?"
No, that
Are
is
they
true.
twins?
Their hair used to be.
Now-
You used to have dirty blonde hair when you were younger.
Yeah.
His was a
Yeah.
little bit brighter blonde.
And it was straight at the time
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
younger.
Now me and Tim look a lot alike.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Lots alike.
People were saying when the first time he was there, people were saying like he was a morph between the two of you.
It's funny.
And that one from Tennessee.
Yeah.
When he was telling the story of you and Blockbuster, or you know, with the Tekken.
Right.
Being shady.
Right. Being shady.
Half the comments were like, it looks like somebody just like you two had a kid, basically.
Gross.
We love that baby together.
Timothy is y'all's love child.
That must have took a lot of effort to make that happen.
I think.
No, but you two hogged the Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
you
you
and
guys,
Cameron.
you did. You hogged it a
And you
lot.
can't deny that.
Okay.
Now you can use. Okay, first of all, look, I ain't playing Secret of Mana. I've never been an RPG guy.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
That's more like a Legend of Zelda. Overhead.
Still, it ain't happening.
I remember Secret of Man. I remember you two playing that. I swear for like a year. Like you guys were always on that game.
Now that's a hard game. Get back
Super
for
Mario
River City Ransom. How about that?
player?
So yeah, I never.
Super Mario World's not two players.
And it
is
wasn't.
Yes,
It wasn't
can be.
like this.
Can be.
Switch off though.
Yeah.
You know, the
two-player.
Nintendo, Super Nintendo fanboys and the Sega fanboys. It wasn't like that. It was like we just played Genesis because that's what was available.
Yeah.
It was either you or Cameron or the two of you together constantly
That's
on
facts,
that game.
actually. Yeah.
We still had the NES. Where we got? I mean, come on. You had the NES
we didn't
and the Genesis.
appreciate
You guys
the
had
NES
two
at the
options.
time.
We only had one.
We didn't even have it hooked up at that point. Once we got the Super Nintendo, the regular
NES
Nintendo went into
bye-bye.
closet.
Okay. All right.
But
this is true.
we didn't have options because our only option was the Genesis because you were always on the Super Nintendo.
So that whole
day and
library,
night.
I missed out.
Day
I
and
missed
night.
out on.
will
I did too,
admit
and
to this.
now I'm playing games now, and I'm like, damn, these are just some good games on this thing.
I will admit to this. Okay. You know, yeah. I
don't
fucking
remember-
hogged the
I don't
Super
remember
Nintendo.
Timothy playing anything. I don't remember him playing video games during that era.
Watching marbles roll around on trays and
Tim was playing the Super Nintendo with me because on some of those,
Did he play a lot of Super Nintendo then? 'Cause I don't. I just remember it was you and Cameron.
But
we would switch off because I'd be like, okay, it's like it's pretty much like a time limit. You get
He started getting in
15
trouble at
minutes.
that point, though, right?
Tim?
Like middle school.
we
I'm getting in trouble.
Not trouble. I mean, same with me. Not trouble.
This was Wishbone era, wasn't it?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Timothy was already starting to kind of. He wasn't roaming or anything. I don't remember a lot of Timothy actually. Where was he? What was he doing?
He was just kind of there, I think.
Was he even there?
Yeah, no, he just disappeared for 3 years. He was just
I
kinda
don't remember a
there.
lot of Timothy. I remember
See, at,
a lot of bragging on his part about like just I'll beat up somebody, you know. Like that's when he was like he thought
always
he was
been bragging about fights.
he thought he was tough and he was always see that's what I'm saying. He was getting in trouble. He was getting into fights at that
yeah,
point.
then mild trouble, not like the trouble he got into later in life.
Not
but-
adult trouble, but yes,
Yeah.
the trouble you get in when you're in middle school.
Sent to the principal's office.
Anyways, what was your most frustrating video game experience as
Mine?
kids? Yeah, as kids, yes.
As a kid,
You know, back in Corpus to kind of get back on track.
Well, was there anything that they did to just irritate the piss out of you?
see back then, having the only option to play the Genesis, I was kind of okay with it because no one else was on it really. You know,
We played a lot of NBA Jam,
We did.
a lot of Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah, but I didn't have to fight with him and Bobby Hill over it, and Tim wasn't really playing a whole lot at that.
Yeah, I know. That's he
Yeah,
wasn't.
and you weren't playing near as much as I was, because
I remember it was always available. You know, I'd play Genesis too, and it was because it was available.
it was available.
You know, we'd play like Mortal Kombat or, you know, NBA Jam, but, you know, 2-player type of games.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. there seemed to be less interest in that for some reason. We even had the Sega CD
did
hooked
have
up
the
to
Sega
that
CD.
too. So,
Just
no, you want to know what my second
Really?
most aggravating video game experience was when our NES and all of our games was sold without us knowing about it.
I did that.
Yeah,
I did that.
took it upon himself because what, you needed money for lunch or something?
I don't remember what it was. I sold it to, remember your friend Harry?
Yeah.
Sold it to him.
What year was this?
This was during the Super Nintendo era.
Yeah,
And you
I don't
probably
even know.
thought, oh, this is obsolete. We don't play this anymore.
That was my thinking on it, honestly. I probably sold it to get a game or something.
But I remember
truthfully.
being angry, but like, whoa, that wasn't
remember-
yours to sell.
I remember, well, it was just collecting dust. So, yeah, I took it upon myself to just do it. And I remember I contacted him years later. Years
To see if
later.
he still had it?
Yeah, and he was like, "Are you sure you got the right person?" I'm like, "No, it's you. Trust me." He's like, "Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, basically." So he
He didn't even remember you?
No, he remembered me. He didn't remember buying the thing with me.
It's funny, he didn't remember me. I tried contacting him at one point. He was
That's
like,
weird.
hey, like, hey, you remember? Like, no.
It's weird because he was your friend.
Yeah, I know.
Strange. Looks like you're Noah from Transformers.
I
Unmemorable.
remember he jumped the fence whenever to go get Pops whenever I was getting to that fight.
I remember that.
So our childhood Nintendo is gone forever.
It's gone forever. You know what though?
Get another one.
I mean, I've got another one. This is not ours. It's different.
You know what we should do? We should go on a road trip to track down your childhood NES.
Better yet, we should make a movie about that.
Where shenanigans ensue?
Yeah. There was never really. No, if we were playing a 2-player game or something, it was fine. Gyrobite was frustrating. Trying to play with the other person, this asshole would smush you.
You know what? I remember.
Wait, on purpose?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had Gyromite. We never had Rob.
I know. Rob would have
But-
been amazing.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Like I remember playing Gyromite as a kid. The kids across the street had it, and the kids across the street they had like pretty much everything for some reason, and I'd go play everything there. But I remember Gyromite, and yeah, there was no Rob. They just playing Gyromite, 2 players.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, the second controller A and B makes the things go up and down, and the first player can control them. So you could actually you could probably play, because I think you just use the D-pad on player 1 and then A and B on player 2. So you could actually, have a
Get 3
controller in
people?
each hand.
Yeah,
What?
it's almost like you're
What did
playing
you just
Wii.
say?
3 people?
3 people?
What do you think he was going with that?
I don't know.
One.
You can do it by yourself, you idiot. 3 people.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
One person to hit B, one person to hit A. You're a moron. You're a moron. God.
I was thinking you were going somewhere crazy with it. Yes, I didn't.
I was going the opposite direction, actually.
I see now. Yes. Okay. Never mind. But you know what I was gonna say is I don't remember a lot of fighting over video games. Like I don't remember a whole lot of. It's my turn. It's my turn. It was usually pretty much like you play till you die. And you
Yeah,
hand
and
it
passed
over.
it. And I mean,
And the rules were pretty concrete.
because I think we'd have been not necessarily quick to narc, but if we started like fussing over something like that, it would have gotten taken away quick.
Yeah.
And we didn't want that. And that's the thing is like when one of us messed up, we all got punished when we were kids. So if 2 of us were fighting over the Nintendo was gone for everybody for a week or whatever.
Yeah. And,
And
you got,
we didn't want that to happen because then we'd have to deal with her.
you got hurt. Yeah.
So yeah, no, there wasn't a whole lot of fighting. The biggest complaint was when I come home with a sports game from renting a sports game.
Bases Loaded 2 is a bomb, yo.
So is it safe to say y'all had more of a connection with the NES or over like because I know you guys had
Sure,
like
no,
the TRS
and
80 or
that's
whatever.
that's a good point. That was like the shared because again by Super Nintendo era we started this branch off where some were playing this console, some were playing this console.
You know what though? I think it's just video games in general. I'm not going to put it to one console. It's just video games in general. You know, because even when we were older, you got a 64, and I mean, hell, me and Billy played a lot of hours on that.
But that was like the last one where it was everybody playing, is what I'm saying.
Well, because we all kind of went separate ways at that point and didn't live together. Because I was still living with you.
No, even
64
it started though during Super Nintendo because we didn't play Super Nintendo, so there wasn't that group kind of camaraderie.
I see what you're saying.
The way it was with the regular Nintendo. Yeah, and we didn't have Atari growing up.
No, we didn't. Our first console at home was.
We played some games on
NES.
Tandy, but those were usually one player.
Mm-hmm.
So was there like one game on the NES where like y'all all like rallied behind this to be like we've got to beat this? Like y'all were just all as a group bound and determined to take it down.
Ninja Turtles, right? Which one was that? The 4-player one? I think that's the only one I remember.
There's no 4-player Turtles game.
The 2-player one.
Is it?
The 2-player one.
Well, what am I thinking of then?
Because it was arcade.
There was an arcade.
Yeah, the one over they did one that was overhead view. You could switch off between the 4 turtles.
Was it just a 2-player?
Yeah. An arcade was 4-player.
We rented that one and we beat it. Remember?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. You beat the first Turtles game?
No, the arcade one.
Oh, the arcade one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's 2, right?
That's
That's
part
2.
2, yeah.
Okay. And that one's 4-player?
No,
Oh
it's
no,
2.
it couldn't have been 4-player.
It's 2.
For the NES,
two.
it's
It couldn't
2.
have-
For the NES, it's 2-player.
Yeah, you can pick from any of the turtles. You switch off between the turtles on that.
Yeah. So what am I thinking of then? That was weird.
Well, you're
'Cause I remember
probably
there was-
thinking about the arcade because the arcade was 4 players. Like the actual arcade.
Yeah.
Which we didn't have because we didn't rent that. This
Yeah, but
must
y'all
be a
went to
false
Chuck E.
memory
Cheese.
though, because I thought I remember, but it couldn't have been on the Nintendo because there's only 2 ports.
But I think the Nintendo was because the fact that we made Moms and Pops a deal because we all wanted a Nintendo. We asked them to buy it for us, and they're like, if you guys can come up with half the money, we'll come up with the other half. And we all ended up just saving our allowance or our lunch money allowances because we were getting allowances at the time too.
See, I don't remember.
And we all pulled our money together.
We get money for grades
Yeah, and we all
from time to time.
we all
Birthday
4 of
money,
us
maybe?
pitched in.
It's the only time I remember getting decent money. I gotta pee. That's the only time I remember getting decent money.
But yeah.
So I guess it's just us then.
I guess so.